Yeah, it's Breakthrough Tuesday, but it might not be. But God bless you from me, Rory Alec. I'm struggling this Tuesday morning. I hope you're well. Welcome to Spirit, Soul, Body podcast, where we focus things as spirit beings living in bodies with souls, minds, emotions, decisions, free will. And I'm not feeling like it's Breakthrough Tuesday. This week has been an explosion of activity. I don't know if you've had those weeks. Sometimes it just feels like suddenly everything is testing your resolve. Anyway, it feels more like Serious Tuesday. I pray you're well. Lovely to be with you. Thanks for having me in your moment, on your device, however you've chosen with your free will to say, hey, let's see what Rory's up to this week on the Spirit, Soul, Body. I'm doing good, thank you. But my goodness me, I'm working. It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working. I'm giggling here, I'm blushing almost like a dog. Sorry, dear Beatles, I didn't mean to ruin your song there. But when I get on to you, I know the things that you do. Oh dear, thank God for our wives. And wives, please thank God for your husbands. I just am so grateful for the union of marriage, which I firmly believe in, by the way, even though I have gone through divorce. And by the way, over 50%, okay, that's an exaggeration, or you being slightly evangelistic. Okay, as almost 50% of the planet has gone through divorce if they've got married, for those who've got married. And then there are so many who just don't bother getting married. But I see there's a tremendous value and benefit in the institution of marriage, which, by the way, God sees slightly differently to the way man and religion and tradition might see. And depending on which country you live in as well. I mean, depending on the culture that you've been raised in, it's all vastly, hugely different. But I'm super grateful on this Serious Tuesday. And I'll tell you why in a few moments, why it feels very serious to me. You might be going, Rory, just suck it up, mate. It's just work. Get on with it. It is all about work, by the way. And I don't know about you, but if you end up doing sort of 8, 9, 10, 11, depending on what day it is, 12 hours of work in a day, and you're tent making, you're chasing that paycheck. And yes, we could talk for hours about whether we should be chasing paychecks, whether paychecks should be chasing us, whether you are a believer in him or not is irrelevant. We all have to work and should work to some degree. The question is, do we work smart? Do we work hard? So these are all subject matters I am so looking forward to diving deeper into as I have guests on Spirit, Soul, Body podcast sitting right here virtually with me talking about the issues of life, whether they impact us in our physical well-being or mental well-being or spiritual well-being. But on this series, I've decided it's Serious Tuesday. This week's kicked off with a whole bunch of work. Yes, I'm making some serious productions for some clients, and we now have to edit these. And the particular client, I won't get into too much detail because it's not appropriate, but is creating a whole subscription sort of Netflix platform. So it's a big project, and we've started doing all of the editing and preparing. And each episode has a whole bunch of what we call video assets or pieces that make up the viewing experience for you, the viewer, when you actually decide, okay, I want to watch this. This is a secular project that I'm working on. It's called tent making if you read it from a New Testament or biblical perspective. So it's kind of my job. I'm working for a client. They pay me for the work. And by the way, it's in Spanish, it's in German, and it's in English. So, hola, how's your Spanish, Rory? dangerously non-existent. And how's your German, Rory? Not quite as dangerous, not quite as non-existent. Getting there. It's like the fog that's slowly lifting or moving from in front of the window. If you watched last week's podcast. Anyway, I'm just hanging out with you guys for a few moments. Today we're going to have an interesting podcast. I'm not going to talk too much because I really got to get on with Serious Tuesday's work. Serious work. But today I'm going to dive back in the past and we're going to make a delicious recipe for lunch or dinner. You could even have it for breakfast, actually. It's delicious. It's a very simple recipe. And so I'm going to be making it today. Yeah, I'm going to cook something today on this podcast, Spiritual. Listen, our bodies need to be fueled up and eat, right? And whatever goes in there benefits this, or should benefit this. So yeah, I'm going to be making a delicious Italian dish, or we should say Mediterranean. It's very much from this part of the world. I'm sort of 60 miles away from the Italian border, and all deliciousness and wonderful things are on that side of the border. I'm not saying that it's not great here in Austria. They know how to cook up a good plate. They can really make some yummy food. Anyway, today we're going to make some wonderful vegetarian. It's like cheese, vegetables, olive oil, salt, pepper, and let me not run ahead of myself. It is really worth trying. So if you enjoyed making the Apfelstrudel following Carola while you were being interrupted by me, sweaty me climbing up the mountain, and if you missed last Thursday's podcast, you should catch up with it. Yep. Thanks for some of the comments that came through on there. But I'm going to be making some vegetables today. So we'll first go shopping a little bit. We'll jump around Austria. So we'll be up in the Wachau near the Danube, and then we'll be back in Klagenfurt, and then we'll be back in Wachau, and then we'll be back in Klagenfurt. We'll go all over the place today. So you got Thursday last week on Spiritual Body. You got to see a little bit of Austria, and today we'll do a little bit more of that. But really, I'm going to spend time in the kitchen. I know it's hard to believe. Can he really cook? Well, actually, in the last 7-8 years of my life, I've done quite a lot of cooking, whether it's for my dear Mum Shiline, my task before him, and one of many tasks, and they're unfolding as 2023 is unfolding. Actually, just pause for a moment, and I'm just hanging out with you guys, just to give you a quick update, because it is the beginning of the week. It is Serious Tuesday, and for you, I hope it's Breakthrough Tuesday, because I really pray that you have massive breakthrough in every area of your life. That really is my heart. My hope is to be an encouragement on this podcast, that even when things are not so great, you come hang out with me when you want, when you're ready, of course. You can watch me morning, noon, or night, 7 days a week. I'm right here on social media. But if I can be an encouragement, if I can share a little wisdom that I've picked up along the way in terms of the journey I've traveled in my life, that's my privilege and joy. And you're welcome to send me a text, or you can connect with me. If you want to text me, you text this number. It'll come through to my WhatsApp. It's not a phone number that I answer, but if you want to text me and just say, "Hi, Rory, I'm watching from..." Now, if you're watching from Timbuktu, text me immediately, okay? Because I know you guys get texts in Timbuktu, in the heart of Africa. Or if you're in some other very interesting place, and by the way, the answer is every place is interesting. I'd love to hear from you. Just text me and say, "Hey, I'm watching from wherever, and this is who I am." And if you're enjoying the Spiritual Body podcast, give me a little encouragement as well. It's lovely. It's always, if you're doing a YouTube channel, it is always wonderful to hear from whoever might be watching. It's at this point in time, I also make the disclaimer, if you want to send some nastiness, don't bother. It's just not going to be can you get that right, Rory? It's not going to be absorbed, and it's not going to be observed. So there you go. Talking about trying to get the mouth connected with the brain at 8:15 in the morning. I know you might be watching this on Thursday evening, Tuesday evening, Monday evening, Friday, Sunday, whenever. Don't say anything nasty because it's not going to be posted. It's my social media platform, and I get to choose what comes up. So, and by the way, there's just way too little time and way too much to do. And your time is super valuable and important. my urgency and urgent encouragement to you is, don't spend 1 second more in negativity than you need to. Don't buy into this whole social media, hey, I'm anonymous, I can just be nasty. Most of the nastiness that comes out on social media, in my opinion, is basically secondhand nastiness. It's something else going on in somebody's life that's really frustrating them, disturbing them, or hurting them, angering them, and may have been for a long period of time, and then they just it on somebody else because it's convenient, it's easy, it's anonymous. There's very little accountability on social media, whether it be Twitter, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, doesn't matter. And so my encouragement to you and I is, let's not do that. It's very easy to do. It's just a quick few blah, 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 and it doesn't benefit anybody, least of all the person who is feeling those negativity or that negativity, and it doesn't help you. It doesn't help me when we are to actually go and share that. It just amplifies and multiplies a toxicity that really is miserable. And by the way, on the other end, if you're on the receiving end of that, just don't receive it. Just shut it out. Just say, you know what, I'm sorry you're having a crap day, and I might even pray for you if you're consistently having a crap day my way. Hey, save your breath. Rather go and find a beautiful place somewhere in nature, or snuggle down on the couch with your favorite pet, or just give your special significant other a big hug and hope they give it back to you, depending on whether you've been a all day long. I told you this was a serious Tuesday. I'm getting into a little advice here. But I know for a fact, not only because I've experienced it in my own walk, in my own personal life, not because I've been through a divorce 8, 9, 10 years ago. My goodness me, you'd think things would move on. There's still people out there who have no understanding about my personal circumstances and will go, bleh. Even Christians, people who are supposed to walk in the fruits of the Spirit, kindness, gentleness, self-control, patience, turning the other cheek, coming with a humble and gentle spirit, if they even have the right to judge. And that only comes when you're in relationship with somebody. So if you don't know somebody and you haven't walked in their shoes, you don't know the details. And by the way, I can confidently say, and you're not God, so you don't know the full picture. Only He does. Don't judge. Really don't judge. You don't have to be in fellowship, and you do not have to walk with somebody that you disagree with, but you still have to have the right spirit. You still have to have the right decorum, tone, heart, because, hey, you're not perfect. And be careful, because as you judge, you will be judged. And I say that to myself regularly. I am by so far from perfect in so many ways. My goodness me. Oh, we are so human. We are so human. I don't know if you're tracking with me on this Serious Tuesday. But anyway, some lovely messages. Let me just change the subject. You know, you can't freeze bread, right? That always does it. Just say that, because it's complete nonsense, and people stop whatever they're saying to you and they go, huh? Yeah, well, of course you can freeze bread. But you've achieved it. You've changed the conversation. Some fabulous, I was talking about text me if you want to on WhatsApp, and then I got into this whole little mini preach on this Tuesday morning. But you can text me, and also you can, of course, email me. So there you go. I know some of you just said, Rory, we couldn't write the number down to WhatsApp you. And it's like, yeah, but you just have to pause. You just have to pause the video and you can write it down, right? Yeah. I say that because I've gone, dang, why did they put it up so quickly? I couldn't get it. And then I go, oh, you just have to hit pause. And then you can write everything down in your peace, in your leisure. Yeah, he's being a smart aleck today. I'm just enjoying you guys. I promise you, we're going to get on to actually cooking, and I'm going to be in the kitchen with you. Super simple. So get ready with a pen and notepad, because your spouse and your family are going to love you for this. I'm pretty bold. I'm pretty confident on that because I like food. I was going to say I love food. I love food, and food loves me. In fact, when we go shopping, let's go shopping for. Let's get the ingredients, and then I'll read some comments, and then we'll go into the kitchen and we'll cook. How's that? It's like most guys, I get to do trolley driving and go shopping. I don't mind it actually. It gives me something to do. Frankly, I hate shopping. But these guys, oh man, this is not good. This is not good. Why don't you tell everybody what the whole donut thing is here in Austria?
It's at Faschingstime. When the carnival is happening, then we're eating donuts. That's what we do. But it's not called donuts, it's called Krapfen.
Say it again?
Krapfen.
Krapfen.
Not crap. Krapfen.
Krapfen. By the way, they have fantastic bread here in Austria. Just the best. And the cheese.
You can take some sheep cheese.
Where is the sheep's cheese? Yep. Good old feta cheese, right?
Yeah, that one is good.
I don't know about you guys, but when I push a trolley, I like to get up to nonsense, like spin it around. Of course, you have to be very careful you don't break anything. Time to check out now. Come on, let's go home and make some vegetables and sheep's cheese. Did you notice how the camera kind of, while we're shopping there, my darling bride and I, and by the way, it just snowed last week. It's flippin' freezing. We're sitting here well and truly on our way to May 2023. And of course, what you're seeing there in terms of me shopping, this is a couple of years back. It's on my 100 vlogs. There's a whole 107 vlogs, pieces of my life over a 2-year, 3-year period. So you're welcome to go and check it out. Lots of interesting things, okay, including on how to make excellent elderflower cordial. If you're into elderflower cordial, I had no idea you just pick elderflower blossoms. We're about to do this in the next few weeks because it's that time of the year, and you can make the most delicious cordial from elderflower blossoms. I mean, how amazing is this planet that we live on? And all of these things are so good for the body, especially the sugar. So I'm in the supermarket. Did you notice donuts? Yeah. So yeah, I'm just hanging out with you this Tuesday and just saying I'm super fallible. And this is why I had to lose weight, because at the back end of last year, and you can check this out in the episode 1, 2, 3 of my podcast. For those of you who've just found this now, welcome. It's lovely to have you with me. And to have me with you. Thank you. I appreciate your time and your energy and your focus on this particular podcast. It will pay off, I think, because I think you're going to get a great recipe out of this podcast. Anyway, December, the doctors were reading some pretty nasty dynamics to me. It was like, so you've got a fatty liver, you're obese, you're insulin resistant, on your way to diabetes. You've got a gallbladder. I'm sorry I'm giving you all this information on this series. I did tell you it was Serious Tuesday. And you've got a gallbladder full of gallstones. We may have to operate. So all of these dynamics, and of course the blood pressure was 172 plus. So not good, not good. 2nd of January, I made some decisions. I did some research. I got knowledge, and then I made the difficult decision to apply it. And I say difficult because it takes discipline, it takes perseverance, it takes a strategy, and then you just have to stick with it. And that's where I'm at the moment. Last week, one of our sons were with us for the week for Easter, and I succumbed between birthday girl, birthday cakes, and just eating outside of my intermittent fasting. So I try and stick with eating within a 4 to 6 hour window a day. So pretty much between 1 and 5, 1 and 6 in the evening. And then I don't eat for the rest of the day. I just drink teas or coffee or, of course, water with lemon. And but I started 2nd of January and I was 102.8 kilograms, and now I'm down to 89. And I've been hovering around here, then going up. As I said, one of our sons were with us from Vienna, and we had some boys' time. We were watching some action movies, and because I live in a household just with ladies, and they're not into, as we would say in South Africa, skop, skit, and donna. I mean, it's like pow, pow, kick and boom, boom, boom. I know. And before you start teaching me about the negativities of Hollywood, trust me, I'm in the media business. I know all about it. But sometimes I do enjoy actually suspending my belief systems and then going into some piece of fiction that's been drummed up and they've spent millions of dollars making, and it's quite a ride. It's quite an adventure. It's called entertainment. Don't buy into it. Don't believe it. And if you do feel like it's influencing your belief systems, then please stop watching. Okay, it's just not good for you. It's all happening on Tuesday. A big sneeze there. Anyway, yeah. So the scale was starting to register that sugar, cake, eating throughout boys' movies, skop, skit, and donna. But I'm back on the straight and narrow in terms of my body, and I grabbed myself and said, "Hey, enough." And I think we have to do that. I think we just have to. If you have a goal in mind, and my goal is to get down to 82 kilograms, which number one is, it's good for me. It is healthy, and don't buy them. I know there are the fashion industry, and in fact, all industries are just going as they're trying to appease and trying to not offend and trying to be nice and trying to accept all and everything. And when we move past the craziness of wokeness and what am I talking about? I'm talking about this. There's now this whole movement of where you see people who are super overweight and they say, well, I love myself. I'm wonderful. I'm beautiful just as the way I am. And don't get me wrong. Actually, every spirit being, I'm talking about humans here. They are potentially wonderful and beautiful. I'm potentially wonderful and handsome and I get the various dynamics to the message, which is, hey, let's not look at and judge people on the exterior, which I fully agree with. People can be in all phases and walks and shapes and sizes and colors, and I am fully 100% anti-judging people based on their race or on their culture or on their religion or on their appearance. But I also am not buying into, hey, everything's great, because it's not, and it wasn't good for me either. And if someone is overweight, love yourself by all means. Accept yourself, absolutely. And others, please don't judge somebody by the amount of kilograms they weigh or if they're really obese. But by the same token, I can guarantee you your body is stressing and it is struggling. Just look at the science. Look at the facts. That is what's going on. And I wasn't planning to say any of this. This is my new mantra. I wasn't planning to say any of this. I'm just hanging out with you. It's your fault. Anyway, I'm on this serious Tuesday with a lot of work ahead of me this week. I am actually being quite lighthearted, surprisingly enough, because I feel like, I need a cup of coffee and I haven't had one yet. And no, this is not coffee. This is bitter tea. Pause. Segue. If you've ever tasted this stuff, you will know what bitterness is. It's concocted by the chemist. Super healthy for the body. It's made up of who knows what. I don't even want to ask. And my body actually loves this stuff. My taste buds go, are you nuts? Donuts? You could have donuts. And you're nutting this stuff? Are you nuts? Anyway, it's bitter tea. So, yeah. Get healthy. Look after yourself. As I always say on Spiritual Body, we have one body. We have one life. Believe what you may. That's the way it is. You will die at some point in time. And that's not being macabre. It's just simply a reality. You and I will die. And I think if we take into account our mortality, if we take into account that our bodies are incredibly and wonderfully made, but they will break down. So be careful what you feed yourself. Make sure you take enough action. And that's the next thing for me, by the way. And I have been waxing lyrical on. I need to do exercise. So all the weight that I've lost, which is now coming up to 13 kilograms or thereabouts, actually, in the last 3-4 months, has been without me changing my, I was going to say sedentary ways, because I'm doing no exercise at the moment, other than coming up and down the stairs to the Mustard Seed Studio to come and hang out with you guys. So I do need to do that, and that's the next thing. And for me personally, I have this love-hate thing with exercise, because when I do the exercise, the blood's pumping, things are happening. My body loves it. It's fantastic. It's good for the body's designed to work. It's designed to move. It's designed to get you from A to B and assist you in achieving and shaping your world, whether you're chopping wood or whether you're preparing whatever, if you in your workplace. And again, my tent making, my workplace is me sitting in front of a keyboard, literally editing for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And yes, then from time to time, I'm walking all over the place for 12 hours a day, filming and running through woods and up mountains, and depending on the project. So our bodies are designed. And if you go back to the Bible and you read about Jesus, I mean, he would walk on average with his disciples 10, 12, 15 miles a day. This would be normal. I mean, from time to time, he might jump on an ass or a donkey like we had Easter a few weeks ago. But, anyway, we are going to cook today. So we need to put the right things in our bodies. I think you get where I'm going with all of that. Email me, WhatsApp me. I look forward to hearing from you guys. And the email has been on here all this time, so I will take it off, but you've probably got it by now. It's raz@roryalecmedia.com. And if there's anything you'd particularly like me to focus on in terms of my guests, I'm actually preparing a whole bunch of guests for the next few weeks that are very interesting, and I look forward to having them here with me on Spirit, Soul, Body podcast. Now, I'm aware time is moving on, so why don't we get into my kitchen and let's get the ingredients chopped up, and let's make a delicious Mediterranean veggie smothered in olive oil. Rich, creamy, and absolutely yummy. Now, I'm assuming you like vegetables, of course, and there are some who don't like vegetables. It's nice being hanging out with you on Spirit, Soul, Body, because this is going to have some pretty healthy vitamin C enriched vegetables that are delicious and really good for you. So, as they would say in social media, without further ado, which I find so irritating, without further ado, and now I'm saying it, without further ado, here's Rory Alec in the kitchen. Let's get on with this. This is a delicious, what I would call a winter's meal. It's really what we call comfort food. Take yourself 5 medium-sized tomatoes. You need 3 peppers. And then we have some sheep's cheese, 5 cloves of garlic, 1 pot, salt, pepper, some very good olive oil. My darling wife has really encouraged my cooking, and my cooking's not too bad. So let's get on with this. So firstly, quickly wash the vegetables, the golden rule, keep everything nice and clean. Try and get organic if you can. Finger into the top, pull out the seeds, wash out the leftovers. This is my way of doing it. So there are 3 peppers. They're extremely rich in vitamin C. Right, now what we do is we go ahead and we cut these peppers just into nice rustic sized chunks. A nice block of sheep's cheese. Pop it in the pan. Chop the garlic up a little bit. You can put whole cloves in. And of course, this is a very good antioxidant, cleans the blood, it's antiseptic in its nature. Extra virgin olive oil, full of polyphenols, and the polyphenols again eat free radicals in our bodies. Pop those in, cut the tomatoes, 2, 3, just again, it's very simple, there's nothing to this. It's just putting it in nice chunks. By the way, switch your oven on to a nice fan oven if you have, so that the air moves around. Put it on to 160, 170, and it's going to get ready, and once you pop this baby into the oven, it's going to go for about 45 minutes, maybe 60, depending on how caramelized you like your vegetables. Some good Himalaya salt, then pepper, little more olive oil. Olive oil is one of the healthiest. Pretty easy, huh? Straightforward. And we pop it in. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how one prepares a very simple and yet, I promise you, delicious, delicious winter meal. Vegetarian, sheep's cheese, some great veggies, nice hint of garlic, salt, pepper, olive oil, simply spiced. Try it. And then let me know what you thought of it. I would say to some of you, depending on how you like it, maybe the last 15 minutes, just take the lid off the cast iron pot and let it just grill a little more, depending on how you like it. Some people like it just steamed-ish, and others like to have that caramelized crispy bit, which is very yummy. Anyway, enough about the food. Spirit, soul, body vlog. Loved being with you guys, and thanks for all the encouragement. Keep praying for us. Please remember, subscribe, particularly YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the little subscribe button and you'll see a little bell. Just click that, because what happens is every time I upload, YouTube will immediately send you an email saying the next vlog is here. So from me, Rory Alec, loads of love. Until next time, ciao. Been wonderful hanging out with you. I hope you try that recipe. Let me know how it works for you and what you thought of it. Did it taste good? Was it yummy? Be careful, if you like me, you kind of go lighter on the salt. Don't be scared of the salt. Obviously don't oversalt it, but that really does bring out so much flavor in the veggies. In the sheep's cheese. It's just fabulous. You can also use goat's cheese, of course. You can even use as we would call Rindkäse, which is beef from cows. Cow cheese. Just doesn't sound right in English. But anyway, delicious. I hope you tried, and I look forward to hearing from you. And I know I never got to any comments. I will, I promise you. But listen, thanks for your comments. I appreciate them. They're all super encouraging, and some are very critique orientated. Very good constructive criticism. I love it. I am not perfect. I'm always looking to improve my skill base in terms of not only content, but also how we're presenting. So any ideas are most welcome, especially for the show and who you might want to watch me interview and grill. Yeah. No, I won't grill him on Spirit, Soul, Body, but I will hang out, and we'll all, you, me, and the guest, will have a great time together. Thanks for being with me. I will be back on Thursday with another Spirit, Soul, Body podcast. I pray it warms up. It's been freezing this spring. Everything in the garden is quivering and shaking. But finally, we're starting to see some buds on the cherry and the apple trees in my yard downstairs, which is very exciting. Till next time, lots of love from me, Rory Alec. Remember, one body, you have one life. Let's make it count. Thanks for being with me. Till then, ciao for now.